much support do they really need? And as this goes forward, we'll have to make recommendations on how much support the U.S. needs to give to be successful. But this is going to take time. This is not going to be a short-term issue. It's going to take a lot of time.
We heard a briefing from U.S. Military Central Command the other day saying we're talking about March or April or in the spring, a spring offensive, Iraqi troops going in there basically, backed by maybe Kurdish troops, I assume the Shiite militias backed by Iran, and some U.S. and coalition air power are going to go liberate Mosul. Is that the game plan?
Well, I mean, I think the game plan is to have Iraqi security forces
Do you have confidence in that?
go into this. Well, I think we're seeing great progress over the last couple days. Last week, we see them do some successful operations in western Iraq and Anbar province. So they have made some improvements. What we'll have to see is wait and see. Now, we will wait and see what the timeline is, and I leave that up to the commanders on the ground to determine, working with the Iraqis, are they ready to do this or not? But this is not going to be a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day effort. It's going to be months upon months to do this because it's a very difficult situation. You can go in there and, as you said, street to street, house to house, identifying who's who, because what you don't want to do is a problem is you don't want to alienate the population that's there because then your operation will not be successful. So you've got to understand all of that as you go in.
But these ISIS militants, these fighters, they have a lot of U.S. equipment now. They can booby trap a lot of buildings, IEDs, and all kinds of roads and bridges if they want. From a military standpoint, how good are they?
Well, I would say, first, a lot of the equipment they've got, they've since kind of lost and abandoned, and we've been able to affect that. So
with air power.
Yeah. The piece that I think is important to them is that, frankly, they'll do anything. I mean, there is no limit to what they would do in order to survive. That's really what's different, and we've watched this evolve over the last 10 years. They could have hundreds of suicide bombers. They could have booby trap buildings. They could have all kinds of things. And the suicide bombers are everything from men to old women to young children. And so this type of warfare is something that is despicable to us, but it's something that's very natural to them. And that's what makes this challenging. And that's why you have to be prepared and understand and learn. A lot of this is about understanding how they're organized, where they're at, where their strongholds are. So it's about not only the active, aggressive offensive action, it's about having the right intelligence. It's about understanding where they are and how do you cut off their money and how do you make it difficult for them to move inside of Mosul. So it's all those kind of things that you have to be able